Hello, fellow knights. Welcome back to another video. So, you guys, I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I love Spider-Man. He's one of my favorite heroes of Marvel. He, out of all the iterations of Spider-Man in terms of TV shows, the Spectacular Spider-Man was my favorite. It was the one thing that got me up every Saturday morning growing up. Partially just to hear that theme song, which is spectacular, spectacular Spider-Man, spectacular, spectacular Spider-Man. Sorry, but that theme song was unbelievably catchy. I catch myself like here and there, like at least nowadays too, just playing it on YouTube, just jamming out at least here and there. At least once a month or maybe every other month, I would like jam to it, but I love it. And I was so in love with the series. It took you can kind of tell certain moments of the series took inspiration off of Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man movie. Um, but like it was so good. And the way they did the whole like Peter getting rid of the symbiote. This is somewhat spoilers to the series. Because like Peter does get the symbiote and then he gets it off, and then we do get Venom, Eddie Brock becoming Venom, and those two clashing. The way we got Peter getting the symbiote taken off of him in this series has been my favorite out of every and any incarnation of Spider-Man. It's supreme over the 90s series, over the Spider-Man 3, the comic books that I've read where I've seen Peter removing the symbiote. It's my favorite. I'll die on that hill. It's a great series. I think you guys will enjoy it. Why am I talking about spectacular Spider-Man? I have a hard time not saying do the jingle when I say spectacular Spider-Man. Sorry, but why the hell am I talking about that? Well, we're gonna find out. I'm guessing we'll find out based on the title why Spider-Man got canceled. And it seems like this article agrees with me. It needs to be brought back. Now, spoiler alert, I already have my assumptions of why it got canceled legally. I don't know the full reasonings, but I think this is part of the reasons. It was, I think it's the last Spider-Man movie that was, series before Marvel got bought out by Disney. So kind of like with Star Wars: The Clone Wars season 7, when Lucasfilm got bought out by Disney, where like Star Wars: Clone Wars season 7 got axed, or the series got canceled after like what 6 seasons. After 2 seasons, Spectacular Spider-Man got canceled, unfortunately. I think the story could have went on for at least 2 more seasons. At least 2 more seasons. And since I brought up Star Wars: The Clone Wars, I'm hoping Disney will give Spectacular Spider-Man the Star Wars: The Clone Wars treatment. Bring the series back at least for one last season. At least. You know, I do see they, like I said, 2 seasons worth of content in there, but I'll settle for one if we can actually get, if that makes sense. Because like what I think it was like in what the last Spider-Verse film that we got a little bit of what happens post season 2 with like Gwen Stacy's father dying. So that's why I'm like saying, okay, let's get a like well, at least one last season. The first season episode could be like, okay, this is the first part of like the first 5 minutes, first 5-10 minutes of whatever, like 5 minutes, I should probably say, of the first episode could be, hey, let's give you a little recap of everything that happened since you last saw me, guys. And in this case, have the episodes be besides 30-minute long, an hour, or at least 45 minutes. 45 minutes just give you guys the extra time to tell that story. I don't know. Anywho. So the MCU has become a grand since Jon Favreau's Iron Man, since Robert Downey Jr. was released in 2008. Throughout the years, the franchise was introduced so many iconic heroes on a broader audience, making them fan favorites. But even with hundreds of characters to choose from, Marvel's biggest superheroes is still Stan Lee and Steve Ditko's Spider-Man. Whether it's Peter Parker or Miles Morales, created by Brian Michael Bendis or Sarah Pichelli, Spider-Man continues to be the household name. But when people think of Spider-Man, though, they technically think of Peter Parker, not so much Miles Morales as much. Anyways, with so many iterations of the web slinger across movie, TV shows, and video games, and they also forgot comics, there's a Spider-Man project out there for fans of all ages across the world. Although there are so many versions of Spider-Man out there, a whole Spider-Verse, you could say. One of the best ones is from the short-lived The Spectacular Spider-Man, developed by Victor Cook and Greg Weisman. Released. When was this article made, by the way? Almost a year ago. Like 3 months about 3 months away, and be a year ago. Anywho. Released the same year as the MCU's inception, Sony Pictures Television, The Spectacular Spider-Man ran for 26 episodes spread across 2 seasons. The series was a perfect blend of the traditional Amazing Spider-Man comics led by Lee Ditko and John Romita Sr., Bendis and Sarah Pichelli's Spider-Man, and Sarah Pichelli's Ultimate Spider-Man comics series, and the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy. And like I said, I mean, those of you who are like, watch the Ultimate Spider-Man, read the Ultimate Spider-Man comics, and the Amazing Spider-Man comics could probably see hints of that inspired in the show. As a Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy fan, I definitely saw hints of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man influence in this. Like, it won't be hard to tell. That's my point. And you'll appreciate it too. So it features Peter Parker, which features Josh Keaton, and his beloved cast of characters in more of a modern day setting, but still respecting the essence of who these characters are. The anime show didn't rehash Peter's origins. It wasn't afraid to tell darker storylines, as it's highlighted less popular characters at the time, like Liz Allen, Kenny Kong, Shamela, and Hammerhead. So, why does a Marvel series of this caliber featuring one of the most popular characters only have 26 episodes? And why is it not easily accessible on streaming in the US? And yeah, you would think it would be on Disney Plus because like practically every other Spider-Man series and movie, except with the exception of Far From Home, is on Disney Plus. And I gotta say, when it says it wasn't afraid to tell most darker storylines, they aren't kidding. Because the whole like symbiote storyline is an example of that. And I've heard that if we're going to get a season 3, like they were planning to bring in Carnage. Like, bro. So why was the Spectacular Spider-Man canceled? The Spectacular Spider-Man was unfortunately canceled after 2 seasons when Disney acquired Marvel in 2009. In an open online Q&A, Weisman said he had plans for the series to go up to 65 episodes, a typical number for syndication purposes. This would have led up to Peter graduating high school. Really? 65? How many episodes did it say that? Oh, I'm looking. I thought it said the amount of. Or am I going cray cray? 26. And I was like, 26 had uh was 2 seasons. 65 minus 26. That would have been 39 more episodes. And 26 divided by 2 is 13. So 65 divided by 13 would have landed us 5 seasons. Dude. Man, we were robbed. Okay. Following that, they would have continued the show exclusively on DVDs that still tell stories of Peter in college. Bro. Although Sony lost the Spider-Man television rights, they still have rights to this particular Spider-Man since they made the show. Are you kidding me? They still got the rights to make the show? What? Josh Keaton, the voice of Spider-Man, this particular Spider-Man, noted that if Disney wanted to continue the series, similar to X-Men 97, they would have to need to pay Sony for the series rights. Like, oh, come on, Disney, what? Considering there's no legal battle to get Spider-Man into the MCU, considering the long legal battle to get Spider-Man into the MCU, the temporary stress that Tom Holland's Spider-Man was no longer under Marvel Studios when Sony and Disney couldn't reach an agreement after Spider-Man Far From Home success, it seems highly unlikely that Disney will go out their way to get the rights of this particular Spider-Man. Jeff Tramel's Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man under Marvel's Studios Marvel Animation banner is already finishing up the production for a second season. Third season is planned as well. Just because there's already a Spider-Man series under Marvel Animation doesn't mean there couldn't be another one. And hello, MCU is dealing with that multiverse. So, if you want to use that as well. But yeah, I agree with him. We can have multiple Spider-Man series at once, I feel like. Marvel Animation already has another series, Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends on Disney Junior, that is completely separate from the Holland's version of the character and the one in Tramel's series. A continuation of the spectacular Spider-Man would be that fans of the series will have been waiting for years. That they wouldn't clash with one another because they existed in two different universes. Thank you. And the more Spidey content, the better. So the Spectacular Spider-Man season 3 would be amazing. What makes the cancellation of Spectacular Spider-Man Spectacular Spider-Man more frustrating is that it teased stories for season 3. And it did. You can tell towards like the end of season 2. Actually, I think it's going to explain that. So spoilers alert now. While Spider-Man battles Norman Osborn and Green Goblin in season 2, episode 13, Spider-Man stuffs one of the Green Goblin's bombs into his glider that causes Green Goblin to fly uncontrollably into one of his cannons, creating a massive explosion that seemingly led to Norman Osborn's death. The end of the season in the series sees Harry Osborn, voiced by one of my favorite voice actors of all time, James Arnold Taylor, blame Spider-Man for his father's death, setting up a potential story with Harry Osborn taking on the mantle, which would have been cool to see. Meanwhile, the final shot sees Dr. Kirk Connors heading down to Florida with his family after his colleague Miles Warren threatens to sell the Empire State University board that he was the lizard. Oh, to tell, yeah. Okay, so They didn't say it. I'm not going to say it. No monster survives. I would have loved to have seen season three. Like I said, I feel like part of it was the plan for season three was Carnage. I would have loved to see Carnage, and if it was in the cards, um Carnage and Venom try and take like tag team against um Spider Man. That'd be cool. Anyways, after season two, Weisman revealed in an online Q&A that Hobgoblin and Scorpion, alongside with other villains, would be introduced to the potential third season. So what would So wait, and I don't know the whole Goblin thing as well as some people do. So this is for those people who know it's better than me. Does Harry Osborn only become Green Goblin, or does he also, in some versions, become the Hobgoblin? Please let me know. Anyways, while it's been over 15 years since the series was unceremoniously cancelled, a continuation could pick up right after a season 2 finale without feeling like so much time has passed. Like the jump between X Men, the anime series, and X Men 97. I mean, yeah, it could. Or it could be like 6 months um after like Officer Stacy dies. Because we saw his death in the last Spider-Verse film, so it could be like 6 months afterwards. Give us some little time gap. Like, hey, it's been like 15, 16 years since the show has ended. Hypothetically, if it did come on today. It's been like 16 years since the show ended. Wow. It's been like 5, 6 months since the season 2. And let's quickly catch you up what happened. Like, they could go that route too. I don't know. If Wiesman were return, he would also have more Spidey stories released since then to pull inspiration from to amplify the narrative web he weaved. A few years after the Spectacular Spider-Man was canceled, Keaton was set to reprise the role one more time in Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes Season 2, Episode 13, aptly titled "Along Comes the Spider." The episode is the debut of Spidey in this show, as he teams up with Captain America as he fights Serpent Society. Although Keaton recorded lines as Spider-Man for the episode, it was dubbed over post-production by Drake Bell. Are you fucking kidding me? We got like the most annoying animated Spider-Man. Like, nothing towards Drake Bell, but I could not like watch more than like 10 episodes of the Ultimate Spider-Man before I say I'm give up on the series. I am mad now. I am so mad. Since Disney was putting out their own Spider-Man show, it wanted audiences to focus on its version of the character instead of Sony's. Even if it was just a crossover episode, this could have been the way to bring back the Spectacular Spider-Man, but it was unfortunately ruined. So the Spectacular Spider-Man continues sort of in this Marvel movie. After the failed attempt to bring back the Spectacular Spider-Man in Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes, Keaton reprised his version of the character in the biggest way possible, a cameo in Spider-Man Cross the Spider-Verse, which God they thank God they referenced this. Although it's a short moment with only one line, it provides some insight into the world of the Spectacular Spider-Man since season 2. The idea of the Spider Societies across the Spider-Verse, how they deal with the canon events, moments in Spider's being universe that can't be unchanged. Miguel O'Hara shows Captain George Stacy dying in different universes, like the Amazing Spider-Man movie with Andrew Garfield as example. Keaton's Spider-Man tells Miles Morales in Across the Spider-Verse, quote unquote, "We know it's hard, but it's the truth, Miles. It's a short line, but it delivers with so much emotion that seemingly confirms the that Captain Stacy died in the died in his universe after the events of the Spectacular Spider-Man season 2. And I think it was shown in the brief. Okay, so I think it's this image that I'm kind of hovering over. Okay, open this note tab. Sweet. Okay, that is what I was referring to about. It's actually somewhat shown in this film. The Spectacular Spider-Man's Captain Stacy died. So I promise I'm not making it up. So while audiences aren't given any info, um, just how it's nice that this was included in the Spectacular Spider-Man film of it was a little while audiences aren't given any info on as to how, it's nice that it was included to give the Spectacular Spider-Man fans a slight look into that universe. If Disney were to continue the series, they could show up what happened to Captain Stacy since he was very much alive and well at the end of season 2. Wilson set up the strong foundation of the Spectacular Spider-Man, and it's unfortunate that legal issues were the only thing holding back future seasons from being made. The Spectacular Spider-Man is one of the best adaptations of that iconic Marvel hero and deserves for a revival. At the very least, it needs to be accessible on more streaming services for audiences around the world to appreciate. I agree. So that's the reason. So I'm hoping that one day that we will get Spectacular Spider-Man on Disney Plus. And I'm hoping that one day we can get the series to come back for a season or two, so we can get it properly like wrapped up. But with that said, what do you guys think? Like I said, Spectacular Spider-Man is part of my childhood, and I would so love to get distributed to more streaming services. So like that way, kids today who are Spider-Man fans can see what peak Spider-Man is. Because like the 90s Spider-Man series and Spider-Man Unlimited and this Spider-Man series, Spectacular Spider-Man, are the three best Spider-Man shows. And it'd be great to have kids today experience full Spider peak. So what with that said, what do you fellow Knights think? Let me know in the comment section down below. You guys have a wonderful day. Be kind to one another. I will talk to you fellow Knights later.